right, so OpenRouter is what we use for the AI completions. It allows us to use lots of different models, and you can see April 30th UTC, almost a million or almost a billion tokens in total through this app. And if we go to their rankings, we can see that we would be well within the top 20. We would actually be almost in the top 15, or we would be top 15 of all applications using OpenRouter. This is a staggering amount of AI, and this is actually not really a good thing. So if we look at this, I mean, this was a complete outlier day, and what I realized was we were evaluating too many contacts. So we have this script that runs, and this basically pulls out contacts that have had kind of recent activity, but it's died down. So now we're going to evaluate them to see what happened in that conversation, if there's anything we should change about the ranking or the grading or generate a task or whatever. This is that setting in the automations dashboard. But we've changed this quite a bit, and I'm going to explain the changes, and this should reduce costs significantly, but I'll show you how that works. So with active contacts, these are people where they're not a user. So first of all, we're checking for, like, if you send internal notifications to users, those show up as contacts. It confuses the AI. I've started filtering those people out. So we also make sure that they had an inbound message in the time frame from basically, so if you have like, okay, so if we look at this after hours of inactivity option, basically it would go look back 24 hours and then 48 hours, and anyone with activity in that time frame would be evaluated again. The issue was that if you sent a bulk message, like if you sent an email out or a bunch of texts, that would actually trigger an evaluation because it would see that there's been activity. But I realized this needs to be inbound because outbound stuff really doesn't matter. It's not really going to change the relevance of that or the grade of that contact 9 times out of 10. And really, what I'm realizing is that we're using a shit ton of AI, and it's just not really sustainable. It needs to be pared back and made more efficient. There's certain things we can do that's more aggressive, but for this, it needs to be more efficient. So we're also making sure that they have not been, either they have all these things applied to them or they haven't been evaluated yet. And yeah, so that's kind of how active contacts work. And then for new contacts, this doesn't apply because they might not have messaged back. And so in this case, we're going to make sure they're not a user again. We're going to see that they have not been evaluated yet, and that the created date is within that time window. So after about 24 hours of the contact being created, we'll run an evaluation, look at the notes and stuff, and just figure out what kind of lead they are. So that should help save a lot on costs. Additionally, now we're passing in an idempotency key that lasts for a day. So basically what this means is that contacts won't be evaluated multiple times in a day. For now, I could change this because we have an idempotency key TTL, which basically means that this is not going to run, every single day, or it'll only run maximum once per day for the same contact ID. So that's kind of how that works. And then we additionally have a new middleware that we're putting between the start of the evaluation and actually running all of our expensive stuff, like generating tasks, summaries, all this stuff that we're doing. And so how this works is if we look at the middleware, basically we're looking at the full conversation, and importantly, we're looking at the date that contact was last evaluated. If it's a brand new contact, then we're just, looking at, basically we're saying we've never evaluated them before. But what we're doing is we're saying, okay, look at the stuff that we care about. This is the stuff that this user has enabled. And if this new activity that you're seeing since, the last time we've gone over this, like, figure out if something's changed, if something real has changed, if they've reached out and said, actually, fuck it, send me the invoice, then we might want to run an evaluation and let you know that, hey, this is an A-grade lead now, they're ready to fucking go. But yeah, like, in general, I think a lot of kind of communication is pretty inconsequential, and so we have this middleware now to check, okay, should we actually run an evaluation here? Eventually, this could probably also tell us which tasks to run, because it's a little bit complicated because we don't have the actual, we can't pass in all of the configuration data. Like we could say, contact scoring, and then what are the factors that affect contact scoring? So maybe we should feed that in. But with contact history and all this stuff, it might overwhelm the AI, and so to get better reliability, we're just passing in this stuff. But in the future, we could have it tell us exactly which tasks to run for this evaluation to further reduce the impact and cost of this stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. So these two new features should heavily reduce the amount of evaluations that run without really harming the actual kind of quality and currency of your data. Not currency, but kind of recency of your data. So yeah, that's basically what I've been working on. Because I realized, dude, I wish so bad that I got a screenshot of this page when we were on it, dude. We were literally right up here, top 15 highest usage apps. I would have posted on LinkedIn. No one would have liked it because LinkedIn's a ghost town, but yeah, it would have been cool. So, anyways, that's a problem for another day. We'll get there. But yeah, just wanted to let you know that prices should be coming down further in terms of usage, and yeah, that's really all there's to it.